Good afternoon, Ben. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us at JP Boats and Blades, and just good to chat with you.
Brilliant. Thanks, Greg, and thanks, Michelle. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. Lots of stories to share and hopefully encourage. Big thing for me in this whole thing is about we must think beyond old boys and we must start thinking about the JP family. And again, I'm glad Michelle's on here. I'm glad other parents also listen in because I think it's a big part of the club. It's more than just the boys that go to the school. It's the greater family.
I totally agree. Absolutely. So I guess the first question, Ben, why rowing? What drew you to the sport in the first place?
Thanks, Greg. I've been listening to answers, and as you said, it's amazing how many times it's an accident. And I was trying to think through, what gripped me. And it was one person. It was this colossus of a gentleman, and I must say a gentleman. Dave Shapcott. So my sort of first week at JP Boys, and this giant of a man stands up on the stage. I don't even know who the head boy was, but there was Dave Shapcott, and he said, "I'm the head of rowing." And I said, "I'm going to give that sport a try." and that got me to Wemapan, and I jumped in the under-13C quad with a guy called Justin Lawrence, who lives in the UK. Whenever I get there, I try to sort of have a Mexican with him. John Bellis, Paula Brosey, Chris Siebert, and myself. And I think we could have been JP's worst ever under-13 crew. I'm pretty sure we didn't win a race. And therefore, I don't know why I stayed. But yeah, that's how I started.
Excellent, excellent. So, we know you as an oarsman. I think some of the guys know you as a coach. We know that your son rows as well. But in your own words, how has your time at JP Roving and as an oarsman really impacted your adult life?
It's, again, I love the question because, I jokingly say, why did I stay? And I have actually reflected on this a couple of times, is that I genuinely believe the rowing club is a family, and it's a family to a lot of boys who during this period from 12 years old to 18 need a family. They need some backing, they need some support. And if I think of some of the fantastic guys I rowed with, so I mentioned, my quad, and that moved on to Gerald Dougal, Michael Danks, Carstens, Leon van Hunsch, Main, all these names. It was just a great opportunity. And then the camps were magic for me. I look back on the Orkney camps in October and then the December camps and all the parents and the teachers who were involved. And it didn't matter whether it was, Ali Francis getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning with his old sort of boat, or some of the parents. And I'm thinking back to there was a Mrs. Casavillan, and she was the mother in charge. She was the Michelle Kirby in those days, and she made sure all the boys. And when you had to get your blisters pricked, you went to Mr. Hart. He was there. You had Mr. Bryant on. And there was just this family of people who surrounded you and supported what you were trying to do. And that passion and that caring for me was magic. And it's why I think I stayed at Rome. And then I spent some time sort of coaching and then doing a little bit of an administrative role. And it was that. It was just this unselfish passion shown by all those teachers, all those coaches through those years.
Excellent. So, Ben, I know that you're familiar with the JP Boats and Blades cause, and thank you for all that you've done with us to date. Just in your own words again, what are your thoughts about the initiative, and how do you believe we can spread the word and garner outside support from corporates and other old boys, as you said earlier on, beyond just the JP family, the JP Roving family?
If I could start off by just basically saying thank you, to yourself, to Michelle, and it's Chris.
Yeah, Chris.
A brilliant job, And if I have to look at those videos, I'm going to say thank you. So I'm going to say thank you to you guys. I had to laugh when I saw Mr. McCann last week, I think it was. I haven't seen him for so long. I didn't realize he'd gone grey. I think I might actually be able to beat him in now. But, that chance to see those people again, to remember the stories, it reminds all of us one thing. You know, when you go back to Martin Main, when you then go to Garth Lemkes, to BJ White, all through you see that same the good values, the good stories coming through and through in each of these videos. So to you guys, to the effort you guys are making, it's fantastic, and it's brought back such great memories. I think it's connecting people. And I know you don't want to make it all about, you know, COVID and where we are, but that is a big part of it. You know, people have got to have a purpose. People have got to feel like they belong somewhere. And it's great to see these guys, you know, sort of, you know, reminding yourself about the good old days. Then I sort of want to say, so where, you know, where are you with JP Boats and Blades? And I remember a German gentleman joining the rowing club in 1989. And he came in with this vision, you know, of that we were going to buy a ton of boats, do this amazing fundraising, and put JP on the map. And I think a lot of people scoffed at that. And a few years later, we had won first dates twice. We'd come within 1 point of winning the overall trophy. VLC, the way it is now, people forget, didn't look like that. He pretty much drove everyone kicking and screaming to set up VLC. Even his caring side. At that stage, Germiston High School was battling, and he took a couple of the boys on, and they rowed out of the JP Rowing Club. One of those young gentlemen is now the president of South African Rowing. Then also, you know, the little club next door, you know, helped set that up. And that just tells you that if someone's got a vision and got a passion, even if everyone else doesn't believe, you know, he'll drag them there kicking and screaming. And just so to reflect on the challenge you guys have got, and I say you, inverted commas, because I think it's all of our challenge. We've got to make it work. We've got to find a way, and we've got to connect with everybody out there again. We've got to use these videos and touch base with this fantastic family over the history, and find a way, as you said, every angle we can, find a way to and say, let's get our boys in a new boat.
Absolutely, absolutely. So from your time as a JPOsmond, what is the one significant memory that you can recall with great fondness? And I know that there's going to be many, because we all have, you know, we all struggle with this question, but you know, it's the one, the highlight, or sometimes people even bring 2 or 3 through. But yeah, over to you.
So, I knew this question was coming, and I was trying to think through, you know, there's been some amazing stories. I'm going to just give just number of topics to remind other people, and then I'll actually get to the story that I want to tell. So just, you know, as I said, we were rubbish in under 13, but we had an under 14 B8. We won every race and then lost SA champs. And that was that. I wish we could say we peaked early, but we didn't. We decided to sleep out at Roodepoort the night before. Martin Main set us up, and we decided to sleep under the stars, and nobody had checked the weather report. And it peed down, was raining. We got about 1 hour sleep in the toilets, and we lost SA champs. But it makes for a great story after the fact. Then we had the most incredible first 8 in 1990. You know, John Bellis, he always will joke and say, we probably had the heaviest cox, Marco Gazavillan, the shortest stroke to win first 8, and the tallest bowman, which was a guy called Craig Williams. But for them, just a great story, you know, of really against the odds in a boat that everyone said was super slow. And these guys, together with all the dads, the Martin Mains, the Joppie van Hanscootens, who made us run up and down hills, you know, were able to win. The other story I would have loved to have sort of got into was just the 88 crew. They were coached by Dave Britton, and you'll know the Britton name from his son now, who do well. Dave Britton was just the nuggetiest person out there, and he took this 88 crew, which was John Chiles, Bruce Dougal, I think Ubaldi was in there. I'm just trying to remember what the names were. And they showed us all, you know, up against a brand new, you know, out of the wrapper in Pacha, with arguably South Africa's, you know, best coach over a course of time, you know, and they went for it, and that was awesome, and that inspired us. So those are a bunch of stories that I remember, and some great camps. But the story I'd like to share is, I've shared it before, but I think it's the one that epitomizes everything about rowing club. And so to set the scene, it's Orkney Rowing Camp. I think I'm in my 3rd or 4th year of coaching. And you can just picture it out at Orkney. So it's the last evening. I think the skill tradition, and Michelle is going to have to tell us, but we used to have plays and forfeits before dinner, which was awesome. So that's all happened. And then and I don't use the word, legends is such a word that people throw around all the time, but 2 genuine legends of the club, Lamorna Canton and Fritz Roberg, are basically standing up, giving their thank yous, thanking the parents, giving out a couple of awards, and the night's coming to a close. And Ali Francis asks if he can say a few words. So I always like to give the visual imagery. Ali Francis, sort of in his blue overalls, he always wore blue overalls at camp, and he shuffled, he had something in a box, and he shuffled to the front where Lamorna and Fritz were. And he started to retell the story of the first date he had coached. So he had coached Fritz and his team to win first dates. And he told the story about the camaraderie and all the hardship they went through, and then spoke that the boys, in winning first eights, of course, they all got medals. So the boys went off and they made him a trophy. And I've got to stress, made him a trophy. Didn't go buy a trophy. They went to metalwork and woodwork, and they made him a trophy. And on this particular evening, he shuffled up to Lamorna and Matthias, and he basically said, I don't know how many more years I have on this earth. And he says, it would be sad for this trophy to collect dust at home. And he said, I'd like to donate it back to the club. And you can, his eyes, my eyes are tearing up. His eyes were glazed, full of tears. I don't think Fritz could, stand Lamorna. It didn't take a lot to get her to tears. She was so passionate about the club. And he handed back this object, but that object just represented sweat. It represented blisters. It represented camps. It represented boats. It represented fundraising. It represented everything about the club. And for him, it was that last unselfish act to say, I want this to be for the club. And that, for me, sitting there at Orkney, it sort of said, that was it. You've got boys from all sorts of backgrounds. They're really wealthy kids, really poor kids, single parents, this, that, every walk of life, and yet you could have heard a pin drop. It was amazing. And for me, it's the story that just epitomizes this club. Is that trophy worth 10 Rand, 100? You can't put a value to it. You can't put a value to that hard work. And I don't believe, and I love picturing all the other rowing clubs and all the people who knew Mr. Francis will know, you can't put value to that man. He's amazing. And so for me to go from a Dave Shapcott through all those wonderful parents, the Shorts, the Casavillans, the Bellises, the Van Oshkutens, the Mains, all the way through, to Mr. Francis, that's what makes such a fantastic club.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for sharing those memories. Certainly, Alan Francis was my coach as well. And he's a legend, not only in JP Roving, but in the rowing community as a whole. So Ben, thank you for your time. We sincerely appreciate the fact that you've spoken to us. Thank you for sharing these great memories. And for everybody else out there, please do feel free to go check out our website. It's jpboatsmondmemories.co.za. And until next time, keep.
Can I add something before you? Can I add before you? Yes, sorry. And you know me, I don't follow process, don't follow recipe. I think it's, and that's an important part of a JP boy. We were in that laugh with Chris. You've got to ask him the music they used to listen to on camp. Alternative side. I do want to ask one thing. For all the people who do get to watch the video and enjoy the stories, do one favor. Pass it on. Pass it on to the rest of the greater JP community. Let's spread this to the old boys, to their families, even the old boys who weren't rowers. So I'm talking about the Walshes, the McDonalds, the Thurwalls, the Dicks, who've now got kids rowing, just so they can see a little bit about the history and the story. And and again, this is everyone's own choice, but this is a great cause. And if you can go and take 100 Rand, 100 pounds, even better, anything, and put it to this cause, let's get the boys this boat. Let's find a way. Let's use our brains. We're clever. We're resilient. Let's find a way to make this work.
Thank you. Resourceful, absolutely. Thank you so much, Ben. Thanks for that.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.